discuss about stem modifications from the chapter Morphology of Flowering Plants. In the previous lecture, we discussed stem, the characteristics and functions of the stem. Now in today's lecture, we'll go with stem modifications. Okay. Now we know the stem has basic functions to do. Apart from those basic functions, if it is doing many additional roles, then all such type of advanced specialized stems are called stem modifications. We can categorize the stem modifications under three types. If the modified stem is in underground stem modification. If the modified stem is crawling, subaerial stem modification. If the modified stem is erect, then aerial stem modification. So first we'll see the flow chart and then we'll discuss one by one. So if we have to see the stem modifications, now where is the modified stem present? On that basis, we can divide them into three types. One is called as underground stem modifications. Means the modified stem is underground. And second one, we can go with subaerial stem modifications. And the third one is an erect stem. So it is aerial stem modifications. Now I'll keep everything in one flow chart and later we'll draw the pictures and we'll try to understand. Now under underground stem modifications, 4 examples will come. Now what are the 4 examples of underground stem modification? One comes as rhizome and the second one comes as corm. And the third type will be called as stem tuber. And the fourth one is called as bulb. Now let me write down the examples. Later we will discuss. Now examples for rhizome are one is ginger and the second one is turmeric. These are the 2 examples for underground stem modifications. For corm, we have colocasia. And we have Zamicant, which is also called Amorphophilus. So colocasia, Zamicant, yam, these are examples for corm. And for stem tuber, what are the examples? For stem tuber, we have potato, which is called Solanum tuberosum. So children, Solanum tuberosum means it is potato, right? And one more example is there. That is called as Helianthus tuberosum. Is also example for stem tuber. And coming to bulb, it is naked bulba, it is covered bulba. So we can classify them into, if it is naked, it is called as non-tunicated bulb. Now non-tunicated bulb example goes is lily. Now if it is covered, it is called tunicated. The tunica means membrane. It is called tunicated bulb. Now in tunicated bulb, only one bulb is there or many are there? Simple or complex? So we have simple and we have complex. Under simple, onion will be the example, Allium cepa. Under complex, garlic will be the example, Allium sativum. So children, all these are underground stem modifications. Underground stem modifications are of 4 types. What are the 4 types of underground stem modifications? One is rhizome, second one is corm, third one is stem tuber, fourth one is bulb. Examples for rhizome are ginger and turmeric. Examples for corm are colocasia, Zamicant, which is called Amorphophilus, and yam. Examples for stem tuber is potato, Solanum tuberosum, and Jerusalem. One more tuber is there, which is called Helianthus tuberosum. Bulb, whether it is covered or non-covered. Covered is tunicated, non-covered is non-tunicated. Non-tunicated example, lily, tunicated. One bulba, many bulbs. One bulb, onion, many bulbs, garlic is an example. Now coming to subaerial stem modifications. Under subaerial stem modifications also we have 4 examples. The first example is a runner. And the second example is stolon. And the third example is sucker. And the fourth example are offsets. Now these are 4 subaerial stem modifications. And if we have to list down the examples of subaerial modifications, for runner we can go with grasses are the examples. Strawberry, Fragaria we call it is an example. Cynodon, dubgrass is an example. So grasses, strawberries, cynodon are examples for runners. For stolon, if you have to see, banana means musa is an example. Then rose is an example. And we can take jasmine, mint as examples for stolons. For suckers, if we have to go, sucker example is chrysanthemum. Chrysanthemum is an example for sucker. So one example we can go chrysanthemum. Another example for sucker is we can go pineapple. Is also sucker. Banana can be a stolon also, it can be sucker also. Offsets means floating plants, aquatic plants. Pistia eichhornia are offsets. For offsets, one is Pistia, other one is eichhornia. So for underground we took 4 examples. One is rhizome, second one is corm, the third one is stem tuber, fourth one is bulb. For subaerial also we took 4 examples. One is a runner, the second one is stolon, the third one is sucker, and the fourth one is offset. Now for aerial also there are 4 stem modifications. Let us see the aerial stem modifications. So the first one will be stem tendril, the stem modifying into tendril to give additional support. And the second will be stem modified into thorn. And the third one will be stem doing photosynthesis. It is called phylloclade. And the fourth one will be bulbils. These are 4 aerial stem modifications. Now, examples for stem tendrils, all the gourds and the grapevine grapes. So we can take all the gourds. Like we can go with cucumber, pumpkin, watermelon, and grapevine. These are the examples of stem tendrils. For stem thorns, we can go with rose, bougainvillea. Bougainvillea is one example, the rose is another example, and citrus is also an example. Citrus is a stem thorn. Cactus is a leaf getting modified into spine. And phylloclade in cactus plants, Opentia and Euphorbia, we'll see it. So we'll just write the examples. So phylloclades is Opentia and Euphorbia. The last one is bulbils, which are reproductive structures that help in vegetable propagation. So one example is agave, other example is diasporia. Agave century plant is one example. Diasporia is other example. So we have seen stem modifications. We just made a chart so that you will have an overview of this. One by one we will discuss in detail. No need to worry. 4 underground, 4 subaerial and 4 aerial. Let's start with underground stem modifications. With rhizome we will go. So you took this into your mind. Now we will go one by one in detail. All this comes under stem modifications only. Examples are only important, so that's why I tried to keep all the examples in one board. Now, if we have to see in detail so that you can memorize more, we'll go with underground stem modifications in the first one. Underground stem modifications. Under that, the first one we have to discuss about rhizome. And the example we have taken for rhizome is Gingiber officinalis, means ginger. Curcuma longa means turmeric. What is rhizome? If you have seen a ginger, so it's a horizontal stem, completely swollen stem. So what is rhizome? Means it is a horizontal underground stem having storage function. It is having storage function. It is a horizontal underground stem having storage function. Now if you have to draw the example of rhizome to understand, so here we go. Right? So like this we have ginger. Now this ginger, it has nodes on it. So what I am drawing are the nodes. So what I draw is a bud. It has bud here. These are nodes. At the axis of the node, it has scaly leaves. Since it is inside the soil, they'll not be green, they'll be dry, membranous, thin leaves will be there. Okay. And it has adventitious roots arising from the nodes. So it will have adventitious roots. So these are adventitious roots. This is a bud and these are scaly leaves. Okay, and from the terminal bud, the main plant grows from here. From here, you can see the main plant. So these are the leaves. So this is a complete underground structure. This is a complete underground structure. How can you tell that this is a stem? We have read the characters of a stem. Stem should have nodes and internodes. Yeah. So these are nodes. This distance is internode. Stem should have buds. Yes, these are buds. Stem should have leaves. So these are the leaves. Adventitious roots usually come from the stem only. These are the adventitious roots. Taking all this into consideration, we can tell ginger is a stem. It is a which type of stem? Underground stem. Is it a which type? It comes under rhizome. Rhizome means horizontal stem. So the examples for rhizome are, one we have taken Gingiber officinale, means ginger, and the second one is Curcuma longa, means turmeric. So this is called ginger and Curcuma longa is called turmeric. So these are ginger rhizome examples. Now it helps in vegetative propagation. Cut the bud, take a piece of ginger, drop it inside the soil, you will get a new plant. Means it helps in vegetative propagation. Now we have to discuss about the second type of underground stem modification, which is called as corm. Now what is the difference between rhizome to corm? In most of the cases, corm is vertical and rhizome is horizontal. So we can tell it is a vertical stem. It is a vertical underground stem having storage function. It is having storage function, that's why it is edible. Now if you have to take the example, we will take colocasia. Arabi we tell it in Hindi, we eat it. Okay, so again this is the bud. It is having buds. Buds are there means it is a stem only, and it is having nodes also. At the nodes it is having scaly leaves also. So these are the scaly leaves. And from the nodes, since it is vertical, to keep inside the soil, adventitious roots, full roots it will have, contractile roots it will have. So here are the contractile roots which will try to keep it inside the soil. So again, how can you tell that this is a stem? So it is having nodes, it is having internodes, it is having scaly leaves, it is having buds, it is having adventitious roots. All these are enough to tell that corm is also a stem modification. Examples are what it brought is colocasia. Arabi we tell it in Hindi. And next one is zamikand is one example, which is called Amorphophilus. Okay, yam is another example. So it is a storage stem, it is swollen and it is a vertical stem. So we have seen two types of underground modification so far. One is rhizome, which is horizontal. The other one is corm. Corm is vertical. Now third type of underground stem modification is stem tuber, and the fourth one is bulb. So we will see that also fast. The third type of underground stem modification is stem tuber. Where can we find stem tuber? In potato. Stem tubers. So example, Solanum tuberosum is one example which stores starch children. The other one is Helianthus tuberosum. So Solanum tuberosum, its common name is potato, and it is Jerusalem. It stores starch which is made up of repeating unit of glucose. It stores inulin, which is made up of repeating unit of fructose. Now, what do you mean by stem? Tuber. Now, if you see the potato stem, underground stem, the underground stem, not the complete underground stem, only the tips of the stems will be tuberous. Tuber means irregular shape. So only these are, and it has very weak roots, huh? So these are the weak roots what it is having. The underground stem, the tip of the stem will swell and stores the food material. Again, how are you telling that potato is a stem? So this is a point which is called node. And at the node, potato has scaly leaf also. So yeah, small scaly leaves will be there. So it is having a scaly leaf at the node. And then it is having axillary bud, which is called eye. So this eye is the axillary bud. So there it's having node, it is having internode, it is having scaly leaves, and it is having axillary bud. Sufficient to say that potato is a stem only, underground stem, but tuber stem it is. Now the fourth type is called as bulb. The fourth type is called as bulb. So what is bulb? It's a disc-shaped condensed structure having many nodes and internodes. And on top of that, because it's again a stem, so from the nodes again the leaves will come. The leaves will help in storage of succulent watery material. Onion is an example. So what is bulb? It is a condensed convex disc-like structure. It's a condensed convex disc-like structure having condensed nodes and internodes. Having condensed nodes and internodes. And on that, the leaves will come. If you have to see the example of bulb, here is a bulb of onion. Now, these are the nodes which are present on the stem. This is the bulb. Bulb means stem. Now, these are the nodes. Now from each node, we know concentrically arranged leaves will come. From here, one pair of leaves. From this node also, one pair of leaves. From this node also, one pair of leaves. Now some leaves will be dry membranous because onion is a tunicated bulb. It will be covered by a membrane. So these are concentrically arranged leaves. And from the apical buds, you know, the vertical stem will arise and the leaves will arise, which we call them as onion stalks. Now here you get the vertical stem, and on this umbel inflorescence, onion inflorescence is called umbel. Inflorescence also will be there, and from each one, these are called ramal leaves. If all the leaves are coming from one point, from the base, these are called ramal leaves. So these are ramal leaves, and this is the stalk inflorescence stalk, and this is the umbel inflorescence, and these are storage succulent leaves, concentric leaves. So this is a bulb which is a condensed stem. It is having nodes and internodes. It has adventitious roots, and these are concentrically arranged succulent leaves. And this is dry scaly leaf. Okay, so this is bulb, and it is having a membrane, so it is called tunicated. It is called tunicated bulb, and since only one bulb is there, it's called tunicated simple bulb. Whereas children, if you see in garlic I told it is complex bulb. So here is a bulb, and each one is separate from each other, and each one will be having its own membrane. So usually when we see garlic, it will be like this only. So each one, it is having its own membrane, and altogether this will be covered by a membrane. So this is the tunic, so it is called tunicated bulb, and this is the bulb from where adventitious roots and leaves will arise. But since each one is separate, it is called complex tunicated bulb. For complex tunicated bulb, garlic, which is also called Allium sativum as an example. Here we wrote onion. For onion, Allium cepa is a scientific name. So for tunicated simple, onion is an example. For tunicated complex, garlic is an example. Non-tunicated lily bulb, it has only one bulb and it is not wrapped, it is a naked bulb. So here is a disc and here it has a bulb. So which is non-tunicated, it is having adventitious roots. So what is this called? Non-tunicated bulb. Where do you find it? In lily. So with this, we finished all the 4 underground stem modifications. First one is rhizome, it's a horizontal stem. Ginger, turmeric are the examples. Second one, corn. For corn, we have seen is a vertical stem. Amorphophilus, colocasia, zemiconda are the examples. The third one we have seen stem tuber, potato, Helianthus tuberosum, and Helianthus tuberosum and Solanum tuberosum are the examples. The tips will swell and they are irregular. The fourth example what we discussed is bulb. This condensed disc-like structure. Onion, garlic, lily are the examples. Now let's go to let's switch on to the second one, subaerial stem modifications. Now, so we finished underground stem modifications. Now let's go with subaerial stem modifications. 4 types of subaerial stem modifications are there. We have listed out, right? So what are they? One is runner. The second one is stolon. The third one is sucker, and the fourth one is offset. Now let's see subaerial stem modifications. Under that, we have to go with the first type called runners. They are weak stems and the stem runs on the ground. So runner means it is a weak stem and it runs on the ground. It is a weak stem, it runs on the ground. Wherever it touches the soil, so here is a node. From there, aerially it will have its leaves. I am drawing oxalis. So which is a beautiful weed on the roadside we find which has fan-shaped leaves. So on the aerially it has leaves, and the place where it touches the ground it has roots. Such type of stems. So this is the main root and all these are adventitious roots. And suppose by any damage, if you are cutting it, this becomes a new plant, this becomes a new plant. Means it helps in vegetative propagation. So this what we draw is oxalis, is there in the NCERT textbook also. We can draw grass also. Grass also comes under example of runner only. Here these are the nodes on the grasses and these are the leaves of the grasses which come out aerially, and wherever the grass is touching the soil, if you take this is a main mother plant and these are the fibrous roots, right? So these are the crawling parts, these will be the adventitious roots. And suppose if you cut it here, this becomes a new plant and this becomes a new plant. It helps in vegetative propagation. So what do you mean by runners? They are weak stems, they crawl on the ground. And wherever they touch the node, they are making their adventitious roots and they can spread to new niches, new places. That is called runner. Examples for runner, we have taken oxalis and we can list down grass also as example. We can list down strawberry. Strawberry, scientific name is Fragaria. And cynodon, dub grass. Cynodon means it is dub grass. So these are the examples for runners. Now the second one is stolon. Now let us see what is stolon. It is also subaerial stem modification only. In stolons, we tell that this is the ground level. Here is the plant. Okay. Now the branches which are near to the soil, they are tender, they bend down. So the younger branches which are soft and which are flexible and they bend down, when they touch the soil, they make their own roots and they make their own shoots. So they are able to generate altogether a new plant. Now when you cut it, this is your new plant, this is your new plant, and here is the old plant. So what do you mean by stolen? It is an aerial stem only, but it's a weak stem, the younger stem, which is touching the soil, is bending down. The point where it is touching the soil, it makes its own branches and it spreads to new places. That is called stolons. Example for stolons are, jasmine is a very good example. We do jasmine propagation like this way only. Rose is another example. Mint is another example for stolen. Jasmine, rose and mint are examples for stolons. Now let us see here itself what are suckers, third type of subaerial stem modifications. Now in suckers, in stolen you told it's an aerial stem which is bending down because of its flexibility. In sucker we tell it is an underground stem. It is an underground stem. The underground stem grows and comes out obliquely. Children, this is an aerial stem and these are the aerial leaves of chrysanthemum. If you plant one chrysanthemum into the ground, so around so many chrysanthemums will come because it has a tendency, the underground stem grows obliquely, and from here another underground stem, and from here another underground stem grows obliquely, it comes and touches the soil. Wherever it is touching the soil, it makes its new plant and it makes its new roots. Wherever it is touching the soil, it will make new plant, it will make new roots. So that is why when you plant one chrysanthemum, here you plant it, but this is one plant, this is one plant, it is having its roots, and this is one small plant having its roots, this is one plant. It spreads like that. That is called a sucker. You might have seen banana, one plant we plant around, so many will come. That's a sucker. Pineapple is a sucker. Chrysanthemum are examples of suckers. So the examples of suckers, let us write down here. One is chamanchi. Chrysanthemum is one example. The other one, musa, means banana. And the third example is pineapple. These are the examples for suckers. So under underground 4 we have to see. First we discussed runners. Second one we discussed stolons. The third one we discussed suckers. The fourth type is offset. Offsets are aquatic plants. Offsets are aquatic plants. They are floating aquatic plants. The examples are Pistia and Eichhornia. So Pistia, this is a floating stem. Here is a node and here is a node. So it has floating roots, a tuft of floating roots. These are the floating roots of Pistia. Balancing roots we tell. With the root cap. Pockets they have. They don't have caps. We discussed it in the root topic. So these are the floating balancing roots with root pockets. Into the water it has, right? And aerially it has rosette-like leaves from the node. So here is the rosette-like leaves on the node. So this is a Pistia plant. Aerially rosette-like leaves, underground tuft of balancing roots it has with root pockets. Now, if you cut it accidentally and this is node, one internodal distance is called as offset. And if you cut the offset, this becomes a new plant, this becomes a new plant, and this plant is called Pistia, water lily. The second one is called as Eichhornia. Let's draw. Eichhornia is called terror of Bengal, right? So Eichhornia plant, how does it appear? That's also an aquatic plant, that's also floating plant. It has a beautiful boat-shaped leaves. So it is having beautiful boat-shaped leaves and mauve-shaped flowers. It's not an Indian variety. Queen Victoria brought it into India, so getting attracted by its leaves and its flowers, inflorescence. It will also have tuft of leaves, rosette-like leaves, and it will also have tuft of floating roots at the bottom. and this internode is called as offset. Now accidentally if it spreads, if it cuts here, so now it can spread to new places. It has become a problematic weed in the Bengal, and it killed all the fishes by consuming all the dissolved oxygen present in the water. So that is why it is called terror of Bengal. So the 4 underground stem modifications, first one is runner, 1, 2, 3, 4 are the examples. Second one is stolen, 1, 2, 3 are the examples. Third one is sucker, chrysanthemum, musa, pineapple are the examples. The fourth one is offset, pistia, eichhornia are the examples. So what is offset? It is an internode. Now let's go to, we finished underground, we finished subaerial. Let's go to the aerial stem modifications, right? So coming to the aerial stem modifications, again we need to discuss 4 types here, right? So what are the 4 types of aerial stem modifications? Quickly let us see. Now under aerial stem modification, the first one is called stem tendril. In NCERT for stem tendrils, they have given gourds and grapevine are the examples. Gourds means cucumber. Then next one pumpkin, bitter gourd, all those things. Watermelon are the examples, and we can take grapevine also as an example. Now here the stem is weak and it crawls on the ground. The stem is weak and it crawls on the ground, and it will have aerial leaves. And from the axillary, this is a leaf, a big leaf. Gourds usually will have a big leaf. And from the axillary bud, it has a tendril. From the axillary bud, it has a tendril to give additional support because the stem is weak. So then it is called as stem tendrils. Examples are gourds, pumpkin, watermelon, cucumber, bitter gourd, bottle gourd, all those things, and grapevine. The axillary bud is modified into tendril here. Now, the second type of stem modification is the stem modified into thorns. This we can see it in bougainvillea and citrus also. In bougainvillea, if this is the stem, these are the leaves, then the axillary bud is modified into a structure for protection. It is called thorn. So this is the axillary bud modifying into thorn for protection. In citrus also, we find such type of examples. So the first aerial stem modification, stem tendril, gourds and grapevine are the examples. The second one is stem thorns, bougainvillea, citrus are the examples. The third one, if we have to see, phylloclade. What are phylloclades? Where do we find it? In cactus members. In cactus members, they are desert plants. There are dry, arid plants growing in dry and arid conditions. Since they need to conserve water, they know that the openings, guard cells, pores they have on the leaf, they will reduce their leaf. They have sunken stomata to reduce transpiration. So the leaves in cactus plants are modified into spines to reduce transpiration. Then if the leaf is modified to such a tiny structure spine, then who will do photosynthesis? The stem becomes flattened or cylindrical, a fleshy structure, appears like a leaf to carry photosynthetic function. Such type of stems which are doing photosynthesis by appearing big leaf-like are called as phylloclades. Example, cactus. Now I'll draw one cactus plant. Here is a cactus plant. This, what I'm drawing, is Opuntia. What is this called? Opuntia. In Opuntia, what I draw 1, 2, 3 are the phylloclades. It is nothing but the stem. In Opuntia, the phylloclades are flattened. Flattened phylloclades are found in Opuntia. And why is the stem modified into such a flattened structure? Because the leaves are modified into spines. What am I drawing are these spines. The leaf is modified into spines, so its stem became photosynthetic with unlimited growth. So flattened phylloclades are found in Opuntia. Second example is cylindrical phylloclades in Euphorbia. Okay, so in Euphorbia, this is the phylloclade which is cylindrical. This is the phylloclade which is cylindrical. Flattened phylloclades, Opuntia, and cylindrical phylloclades, we find it in Euphorbia. See, it's like a cylinder. And why they turned like this? Because the leaves, to reduce transpiration, they modified themselves into spines. So this is a leaf modification, this is a stem modification. So we have seen stem tendrils, we have seen thorns, we have seen phylloclades of unlimited growth. Next one, if we talk about bulbils, the fourth one is bulbils. So agave is an example and Dioscorea is another example. So what are bulbils? They are swollen bulb-like structures. When they fall down, they help in vegetative propagation. Agave, which is called as century plant. Agave, the leaves, they are also dried leaves. So they have spiny margined leaves. This is an agave plant. The inflorescence bear buds. Those buds are bulbils. So I am drawing an inflorescence of agave plant. And it has big buds. And it has flowers also. Now these are called bulbils. So the reproductive bulbils are found in agave plant, and these bulbils, if they fall down, they help in vegetative propagation, spreading and becoming new plants. Whereas if you go with Dioscorea, in Dioscorea, if you see, it is the vegetative bud itself. In Dioscorea, it is the vegetative bud which turns into bulbil. Whereas in agave plant, it is the reproductive bud which turns into bulbil. So, in today's session, we discussed stem modifications. We categorized them into three types: underground, subaerial and aerial. For underground, rhizomes, corms, stem tuber, bulbs. For subaerial, we discussed stolons, suckers and offsets and runners. For aerial, we discussed stem tendrils, stem thorns, phylloclades and bulbils. Hope you understood the lecture. If you like the content, like, share and subscribe to my channel. In the next lecture, we'll start about leaf. Thank you.